Hi everyone, today I have the Holtz Sizzix Paper Village Thinlits dies, which I have made little Valentine houses and turned them into ornaments. I use the Simple Stories Sweet Talk collection kit, which the kit is 12 pieces of paper, scrapbook 12 by 12 paper, and then a sheet of cardstock stickers. I use these two top sheets, but I will probably eventually make one with that third piece. But I didn't want the video to be too long, so I just showed the two houses. So the way I made them sturdy was I cut out the house die in Bristol board. And then I covered it in the decorative paper that I chose. So it makes it sturdy, but it also makes the inside white, which is nice because you'll see I'll bring in at the end a few of the Christmas houses I made that I also turned into ornaments. And you'll see how the insides of the first few I made have a different pattern paper, which not many people are looking on the inside of them, but it looks better to be white on the inside. Then that way you can do clear windows, which I chose to do frosted windows. So it looked kind of snowy since it's wintry and cold in February and in December. So that's just the little door die that I have. So you'll cut out two of the plain base houses in the white Bristol board or whatever heavy cardstock that you have in whatever color you choose if you want to make them like this. And then you'll cut out two in the pattern paper. On one of them you will put the door in, and then I like the door to be a different color, so then right here I just run on a scrap piece of white paper. I wasn't sure what color I was going to do this door, so I just did a scrap piece of white paper. And those houses at the top are from Christmas. And you just trim the door out. Very, very simple. And if you have a little tiny piece hanging off, you can, that is just a hair of paper. You do not have to be that specific. And then I use my Tim Holtz glue to glue the little door down. It's easier to assemble everything to the front of your house first before you start cutting. It's just a bigger piece of paper to work with. If you're going to decorate it or add windows, of course, if you add windows, that has to be done before you assemble it. But you don't have to cut out windows. You can cut windows out of separate paper and stick them on top. You can do it however you want. So this idea using this really thin stamp block is from watching his Tim Holtz video when he did one where he made like little log cabins, and he said it was easier if you bent it over the thin stamp block. If you're doing really thin paper, it doesn't matter. You don't need that. But if you're doing thick paper, it somehow helps keep it in line, because the thick paper doesn't want to fold like the thin paper, not on these little tabs right here. You see, it's very simple, and you're like very excited to get your pattern paper on it, so it goes really fast. And once you do a few, you kind of become a pro at it, and you don't really have any problems. But one thing I do is I do them different every single time, because I'm just playing. It's not like, oh, this has to be done, I have to do it this certain way. It's just free form playing. However it goes together, it goes together. On this house, I chose to trim with scissors the double-sided tape. And on the next house I just tear it with my fingers. It's just whatever you're in the mood to do. However, if you have any of the sticky overhang, it doesn't cause a problem at all. So it's a very forgiving project. I purchased my Sizzix dies from Simon Says Stamp, and I looked up online before I did this video today, just now, and they have them in stock for $19.99. So they still have them in stock. I feel like scrapbook.com probably has them in stock, and scrapbook.com is usually a little bit cheaper, maybe 50 cents or $1 cheaper, but then their shipping might be $1 more expensive. So it's kind of a wash. Just whoever, I say order from whoever gets it to you the quickest. And although Sizzix is probably out of this, Stampers Anonymous and Ranger sometimes sell these if you can't find them. And then you always have Etsy and eBay. And I always get things quickly, especially if I only need an item. Now, here's the only thing you need to do different with the pattern paper if you're going to back it with a sturdier cardstock is trim the tabs off. Very, very simple. You can't see it probably on the screen unless the camera light catches it just right. But the tab has a definite embossed indentation. And look, that was simple as that, pops right on. And when you get it assembled, you still have time to, before you've glued everything and taped everything down, there's still, if you have a little edge that needs to be trimmed, it's very easy because of the way the house folds to just trim it with your scissors. So my little nozzle is a little clogged on this glue, so I am not putting on as much glue as you think I am. It's just coming out in a really fine line. So see, a little bit of trimming, and that's perfect. And that side of the house is glued down. Very simple. I had so much fun with this, but this is like a little project. I have seen his larger houses, and I've never been interested in building those because it's paper and it seems like they would be very hard to make them sturdy. And if you watch my channel, you know I like to make my stuff kind of bulletproof. So like it will last for years. These I feel like will last for years, at least the ones that I backed on the Bristol board. Here I just trying to get it close. Sometimes my hands will come out of the screen. I'm just trying to get it close so I can see where the lines are. It's hard. Sometimes my vision gets blocked by the camera, and so I have to pull things out of the screen. So I apologize for that. But I really like this Simple Stories paper, and I did not do a video showing the paper because I just bought the 12 by 12 kit. And it came with stickers, so I thought, I don't really have that much. So that would be a very short video. But it's really cute paper. Really cute paper. And I thought the little house covered in hearts for Valentine's Day would be darling hung on this little tree I have. I have a little tin bucket with some of that flower, that green flower form stuff that you stick artificial flowers in to stand them up in a vase. And I just took 3 branches from trees that had fallen off in my yard. I made this thing probably 10 or 12 years ago, and it's been through a move. It has stayed together. I painted the branches with white craft paint, and I just sit it up on my dining room buffet. Save your little windows right there. Those I wind up putting those back inside the house because that is Lawn Fawn pixie dust glitter paper. But I wind up putting them back in. That's how I did most of my houses. I did a few houses with acetate, but I liked the snowy frosted window look. You can do it without acetate. You can just have them completely empty. It's just how, your choice. That's what's so nice about this is there are no rules for this. It's just whatever you think looks nice. And you can do solid color houses if you want. And they don't have to be ornaments. I just thought I would show how I did them. I made them ornaments. But anyways, I hang them on that little tree, and that little tree sits on my buffet. And it's a very fragile little tree, but it has lasted for so many years. And it needed a few more ornaments, and just I had a few tags and a few wooden hearts and a little glass heart that I had from, gosh, when I was a kid, and I picked that thing out. And it is amazing sometimes how long you can hold on to something. So that's so simple. So I peeled off the backing for the double-sided tape, and it literally goes together that easy. And then I just made sure I pressed it down good with a bone folder. And on the other house, you'll see I tape it with Scotch tape. On this house, I didn't have my Scotch tape with me, but I had some washi tape. So here's the roof, and the roof has a definite line in the center. I just eyeball the center of that line with a pencil, and I take my crocodile and use the smallest hole punch and just punch that in. You could use a needle. The first one I ever did, I actually did use a needle because I decided after I made it, I wanted it to be an ornament, and I used a needle and some fishing twine. So you, like I said, you really cannot mess these up. Here I'm just choosing my ribbon, and I choose that one. The colors are so pretty. Any ribbon you have would go nicely. And gosh, this ribbon I bought so inexpensively, I think from craftdirect.com. I think I paid 25 cents for the whole roll. And I had a project my daughter and I were doing for school, and she was making these little fairy wands with a Tim Holtz die that were butterflies and ribbon, and we wrapped bamboo skewers with that ribbon. Oh my gosh, I think I bought like 6 or 7 spools of it. Anyways, you just tie a little knot, feed it through, and then I tape it down just because I'm paranoid things are going to fall apart. But if you didn't, it's not a big deal. I mean, we made these ourselves. You could just pop the roof off and remake an entire new roof if you wanted, or just, do a little patching. Advice on assembling the roof. If you leave it sitting on the table, I was trying to show in the camera how to do it. If you leave it sitting on the table, it is so much easier to assemble because that bend in the center lines up with the peak of the roof, and it's just so much easier to do. On the next house, I do it that way. So then I go back in with my bone folder. I mean, you could use anything that won't leave a mark, and just press that double-sided tape down. And they're hanging and they're doing fine. And then currently they're hanging, and I checked out the roof of these this morning, and they are not budging. But I mean, they're so light. The tape doesn't really have a lot of pressure on it. So I just put some washi tape down on the inside to secure it. And you can get your fingers inside there, no problem. And tweezers fit in there. So easy. So here I decide I wanted to do a pink door, and I chose the kind of fuchsia paper that I had, and that's just paper from Hobby Lobby from their big pack of multicolored paper. That's handy to have. And those windows I won't save. But you could do a white house and put hot pink windows and then a big heart above the door or on the door. That would be cute. So just stick the door down. You see how easy it goes. Now there are a few different doors, and on my very first house I cut the wrong door, but I didn't realize it until after I had done maybe 3 houses. I thought, that door didn't fit because I didn't choose the right die. But you cannot tell. That's the one that has the fishing twine as the top loop to hang from. And I also assembled the roof on that one with a hot glue gun. It's sturdy, but It's sturdy and flimsy at the same time because it's a single sheet of paper. This was a Sizzix die that I have a basket with all my little Valentine dies and stamps in it, and I just grabbed that basket. I saw that I haven't used this die. It's still available at Sizzix. It's like a parachute kind of heart, and they always have it on sale. They probably don't right now at Valentine's Day, but I just needed a tiny heart. So all you need is a tiny heart if you want to do this, and I put a little heart on the front door. So simple, and everything just lines up so easily because they're little, and it just is, they're just so darling. And it's funny to me, you know, a Tim Holtz die typically would be more rustic, more vintage. And I made Valentine houses. So just, I mean, don't ever look at the cover of the die to get your inspiration. Look at the shape and think, what can I do with this? So those are some of the dies that come. And I just kind of showed there's 3 different houses, and I just kind of showed how I had little cutouts and how you do the door and the window. And this is the second house I'm making. That first house came together so fast, I can't believe it's already done. So I usually start with putting a hole in the roof so I won't forget. And this is that same Simple Stories collection kit, the Sweet Talk. And I think I bought that from scrapbook.com. And see how that house has a little snowman on it? Those are the 2 windows that come in this die set. There's a small one and a larger one. And I thought, I don't know, I was just messing around and thought, that looks like a snowman. I bet I could fit that on the side of this house. Now, he would only fit on this house because this is the only one that has enough room next to the windows. But you could put them on the sides of the house, the back of the house. You could leave the windows off. If you use I think there's a door that doesn't have windows. It's an unusual shape though. Anyways, you could do whatever. You could draw a door on and then put your snowman. The hat is just, you'll see I just cut a little skinny rectangle for the brim out of scrap cardstock, and then a tiny little square for the top of the hat. So, but I thought that turned out really cute. And that wreath on this house is from a Queen & Company die. It's actually the inside of one of their wreaths. But he has tiny snow globe dies, and there is a snowman in that die set. I have that set, but I haven't used it yet. So you could probably use that hat if you didn't want to do it yourself and you have that die. And there's all sorts of little tiny things that could probably go on these houses that I just didn't pull that out and look at it. I really haven't had that much time to play with it, but I've made quite a few houses. So it's not a real time consuming project. Even with making the sturdy like house base, it's still not time consuming at all. And you could do it in shifts. Like if you have 5 or 10 minutes, run some white cardstock, go back to whatever you have to do. You know, if you know what pattern paper you're going to use, just run a few of those. And then you can come back and do the detail later. So I use the pixie dust paper from Lawn Fawn for the snowman, the windows, and some of the front doors. It just depended on which I thought looked better. And if you open my door, you will see white. So like light wouldn't shine through my houses if you had them on a lit tree. So that's just, if you wanted light to shine through, you would need to really line them up good, and you could cut the doors out of your paper. That would be hard. That would be hard to line up, but you could do it. After a few tries, you'd probably get it. And I use my magnetic platform on my Sizzix, so I wasn't having any problem with the doors and windows slipping. I used a little washi tape and the magnetic pad, and everything stayed in place. Simple, simple. So I can't tell what I'm doing right now, but I think I'm cutting a heart. Yeah, so I put a heart on the front door. I just really liked that. Thought it looked super sweet. And then next, I think I do the snowman. And I did this maybe 2 days ago. I was hoping to get a voiceover on it and get it out yesterday, but time got away from me. My daughter wanted to bake Christmas cookies before she went back to school today, and so we had fun doing that. Okay, so I'm going to fold this one. And I may put the snowman on as an afterthought. I can't remember exactly. I've assembled so many at this point. Probably when I say so many, I mean like 6 or 7, which is a lot because I have some for my Christmas tree, and now I have just 2 for my Valentine tree, but I will be making another one. I love this plaid paper. It's just so cute. It could be used for more than just Valentine's Day. It could be birthday. It could be anything. It could be spring. It's a great print. So yeah, this one I just tore the tape and placed it around. Just whatever you feel like doing. And that I'm just showing how thin that little stamp block is. Just trim your little tabs off. And then make sure they're lined up good and glue everything down. So much fun. I hope if you have these dies and you try this, that you are as pleased with what you create as I am, and I hope that they wind up being really sturdy and hold up for years. But if you need light to shine through, you might not want to make them that sturdy. You might just want to have the windows open to the air. So just kind of think how you want to use them and create them the way they work for your project. Just because I make them bulletproof doesn't mean everybody needs that. But I initially had thought I wanted to give these to people, but I just ran out of time at Christmas. And I don't think that many people have Valentine trees. I could be wrong. And it's a tiny little tree. The ornaments are hanging on them in the pictures. It's just a little tree. It maybe stands, I don't know, 2.5 feet tall at the most. And maybe at the widest part of the branches is, I don't know, 10 or 11 inches wide. It's a cute, tiny little tree. So just so easy, so cute. And I put the top window in this one since it was plaid. I didn't put it in the other one because I loved the hearts. I didn't want to cut any of the hearts off the house. And again, it's just a tiny amount of glue. I could have stuck a pen in it or a pin in it, but it didn't. It did. I like it when it comes out slow. And if I wipe the nozzle of that glue after each use, I don't have a problem, but I tend to just kind of forget and clean everything up, put it away, and then go, oh shoot, the next time I come back. So just line that up. And your double-sided tape helps guide you and keep you where your paper's supposed to be too. See, it just so easily assembles. Now here I pulled in some Scotch tape because with each house you will think of different things to make it last longer if that's your goal. So just stick that down, easy as that, and secure it with a little tape on the inside. And I can't imagine there would be a reason that this would ever come apart. I mean, unless someone wanted to play with it, and then it would. Like the roof might come off, or some of the little embellishments might fall off. So I just wanted you to see how nice and white and clean it is on the inside. And then I will grab, I think, my ribbon. Yes, my ribbon. So many colors would go with that. I wound up just choosing just a glittery sheer white. And you just tie a small knot. That you can feed it through and then tie a knot, or you can tie a knot and then feed it through the little hole. I find it easier to tie the knot and then just twist the ribbon really tight and feed it through. That pixie dust paper is very sturdy. But if you had some thin paper, you might want to tie the knot after it was in. And then secure that down. And I mean, really, I can't see why why anyone would ever have a problem with these. So cute. So here I decide I think I want to add some embellishments. And I cannot really see exactly what I'm doing right now, but I know I pull in some hearts from Dress My Crab. Oh, I'm doing his hat. So I'm doing the small little rectangle brim. I mean, it's skinny. And then the little square top for the hat. And it probably would have been easier for me to do this before I assembled the house, or am I just putting the snowman out? I really can't see at this point, but I see scissors, so I think I'm working on the hat. And it's very simple. The first one I did, it was like I cut 2 pieces of paper, they fit perfectly, and I went on. Then I turn on the camera and do it, and it took a few tries, but I still got it, and it looks cute, and it doesn't have to be perfect to look cute. And I asked my daughter, which house do you like better? She thinks these are okay. She's like, yeah, they're okay. But I asked her, which house do you like better, the one with or without the snowman? And she 100% liked it with the snowman better. So it was nice to get an opinion. Because this would not be anything that my husband would be interested in at all. So he's just like, oh, you have a tree. I mean, it's a teeny little tree. But not everyone has to get us, right? If you like doing this thing, then do it. If you don't. To each his own. Oh, I wish I could see what I'm doing right now. If I'm still messing with that hat or if I'm embellishing it. There's a bar right over top. I think I might be doing the hat. Yes. So I just wanted to show you, if you want to do the hat, it might come together in a flash, or it might take a few tries like it did for me this time to get it together. Full disclosure. And now it's time to assemble the roof. And see how much easier it went on when I sat it on the table? Went on so much easier. And all you have to do is line it up. And once you get it lined up, flip it over and just make sure you have good contact between the paper and the tape. And I know I mentioned I glued one of the roofs on with hot glue. That spilled out over the edges, and then I had to use some texture paste, like a snowy ridge on the house to cover it, which looks absolutely adorable. I did another house with the texture paste and then sprinkled the distressed glitter on top in the vintage platinum. It looks adorable. There's just so many things you can do with this. I think there's the Dress My Craft. I bought those from scrapbook.com when I purchased something else. I knew I was going to want this for Valentine's Day, and I purchased it, I think, in December. And I'm just thought I wanted a heart on that snowman, and I wind up putting it on his body, which is so cute. And I put another one, I put that light pink one up on the window at the top of the house. So this little Valentine house is really decked out with little embellishments. For as tiny as it is, it has a heart on the front door, a heart on the window, a snowman. He has a heart. It's like, I had a lot of fun with this one. So pull out all your teeny tiny stuff that you think, where on earth would I ever use this? It's so small. You can use them on these houses. Those little hearts, I think their intention is shaker bits. But they worked great. So I don't want to oversell this, but if you think you would enjoy making these houses, it would probably be a smart purchase to buy this, because I think this is a hot item. I think they sold out at one point, and now they're getting them back in stock. And it's like a $20 price point, and I've had way more than $20 worth of fun with this, especially being stuck inside. And those little hearts, I am thinking they were around $6 maybe from scrapbook.com, but there's an absolute ton. Okay, so they're all done, and just showing the insides. That's a Christmas house where it's just paper, and then the other Christmas house, I did a backing. See how I used the distress texture paste to do the snow? This is just to kind of give you guys an idea of the sturdiness. Now this one I used acetate, and it's just plain paper. Gave it a black roof. This one was the easiest to assemble, in my opinion. I don't know why. And then the little skinny kind of tower looking house, and I love the glitter on that. It had a black roof, and I changed it to a glittery, snowy roof. So you do all kinds of stuff. There is no end to how creative. There's the one with the fishing twine, and that happened to be single-sided paper. It's not backed with white paper. And I covered up the glue with the distress paste. Just wanted to put them side by side so you guys could see them. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, any more ideas for anything to do with these houses, just let me know, because any reason to play with this, I am for it. And thanks for watching, and have a great time crafting for Valentine's Day, and I will talk to you soon.